Why don't you do that?
We are live and we are.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll wait.
All right. Live and recorded. Good. Evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Councilman Westheim, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. And roll call, please.
Ron Bacon,
Here.
Pat Brooks. Here. Rob Dimmitt.
Here.
Brad Overton.
Here.
Richard Reed.
Present.
Greg Richmond.
Here.
Chris Westheim.
Here.
Okay, first thing on the agenda is we're going to call for the public hearing on the public safety lit ordinance. So I think we have our friends from the county and the trustees here. So we are here now at this point to listen to what the presentation is by statute for the state of Indiana. So giving you the opportunity to present for your public safety lit. So whoever wants to go first can come up. Guess no one wants.
Mike Masoner, trustee, Pigeon Township. And I have our fire chief with me here, Luke Clark. And they're requesting some funds for a brush truck. Our brush truck is a 1988 model. I don't know how long we can trust it. I don't know if there's any questions you guys would like to ask, but I have him here to answer if you have any questions. So we'd appreciate any help we can get. All right.
Anybody have any questions for concerning?
I'll ask the most basic and obvious one. Tell us about a brush truck. What is a brush truck?
Well, you don't get to sit and just watch.
Yeah, I don't get to sit and
Have
just
to
watch,
do
unfortunately.
something.
So a brush truck's used for brush fires, field fires. They can be set up to be used for a multitude of runs. Currently, our truck's 1988, like he said. It is a manual transmission. And as many of you probably know, we are running out of people who know how to drive a manual. The truck's also been giving us issues. It is the oldest truck in our fleet. It has been cobbled together by our members. We can't really afford to take it somewhere and have it worked on. It's been home built to begin with. The bed's all custom built in-house. The goal is to take this truck though and be able to use it in replacement of a brush truck and our squad, which is also a 94 Chevy Suburban that is also giving us problems and is becoming difficult to get parts for. So we're trying to replace two trucks with this one truck, as we would not be able to afford them without assistance from the public safety tax.
So the brush truck, is it like have a tank of water on
Yes,
it and all that?
it's got a 200-gallon tank and a 250-gallon pump, a couple of hose reels, and we've got it set up for brush fire, and it can be used on a structure fire for water supply.
Would you state your name, please?
Luke Clark.
Wait, thank you. How much is estimated new truck going to be?
Our total cost that we have right now is $80,000. It's extremely difficult for me to say next year, by the time all the money was in, how much a truck is going to cost. I think we quoted anywhere between $60,000 to $70,000 for a new truck. We're trying to get a crew cab, 4-wheel drive, 3/4 ton truck to be able to haul equipment, manpower, and then lighting, emergency lighting, striping, decals, and the actual fire pump and all that kind of stuff. We intend on using what we have, but some of it probably is going to need to be updated a little bit.
Absolutely. Okay.
Make it automatic transmission.
Yes, it will be automatic.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, anybody else?
Good evening. I'm Chad Bennett, Ohio Township trustee. I've got our fire chief, Scott Foreman. He's going to hand you all out just a little pamphlet of some stuff to look over, but I want to thank you for your time and entertaining the public safety lit request for not only Ohio Township Fire, but all the other eligible fire departments. I've gotten to speak with several of you, but I just do want to clarify one thing from our request that we sent to you all. We had put in there, $2 million is the number that we need to be able to staff the second station at Paradise. But in there, we had put no less than. We should have put up to, because when we made this request to you all in June, we don't know what the number is that you're dealing with. That just got released on Friday from the state budget agency for the public safety lit for Warrick County for this year, for this next coming year, which is $15,358,639. So again, I'm going to let you all look through that packet that Chief Foreman put out. And then if you have any questions, he'll be able to answer them. And if not, I'm happy to as well. Just a few things. I'm Scott Foreman, Fire Chief of Ohio Township Fire Department. Just a few things I was going to go over is our 2026 goals. We want to provide an effective and efficient fire and emergency services to Warrick County and Ohio Township. And I'll be honest with you, as a population base of 45,000, which I gave you a comparison list, I don't know of another population base that high that is only served by one staffed fire station, as you can see. Even our friends, Vanderburgh County, which is our most recent department that has grown, is a staffing of 44 people. They protect around 16,000 population. It's not on the list, but that's just a big ask for providing emergency services. But our goal is to obviously improve fire response to the people of Ohio Township and Warrick County, technical rescue response, which you'll see in the handout there, and our rescue task force, which is an initiative for our schools. We want to staff Station 2. And with staffing Station 2, what that's going to do is it's going to reduce response time, which is going to save lives and reduce property loss for 60% of Ohio Township, which is the largest area of the two stations. One covers a larger population base, one covers a larger area. Not only does staffing Station 2 help the people of Ohio Township, it also provides a ripple effect for the entire county. It puts an engine closer to Boonville, engine closer to Chandler, for the whole county. I mean, the whole county is going to benefit from this increase. Another initiative we want to look at doing is hire an inspector. And again, this has a huge ripple effect, as community risk reduction is our goal. We want to prevent things from happening. And by hiring an inspector, we can get somebody in the businesses. State Fire Marshal's office is not able to provide the service to, every occupancy, every commercial occupancy in the state. So they rely on fire departments like ours to be able to do that. And we currently do not have the ability to staff that right now. With our goals, on the next page, I like to say, what have we done? We've discussed with political leaders about, the effects of Senate Bill 1. Obviously, everybody's concerned about that. We've applied for grants. We've been told by grant experts that our area just shows too much tax wealth, so we don't hit the priority number for receiving federal grants. And we've also investigated the idea of districts and territories, and that's similar like what Vanderburgh County Fire District just did over in Vanderburgh County. Well, we need your help. We need your help to help us. All areas, every time we reach out for something, it points back to the PS Lit Tax, which is designed to provide public safety services in Warrick County. And that's our ask. We can't do it alone. And again, it's a team effort. You help us, we help the people of Ohio Township and Warrick County. Do you guys have any questions for me?
No. Go ahead. Okay. Well, I was looking on this, I was trying to do the math here quickly, I guess, but on page 3, it says there's 3,023 calls for Warrick County.
Yes.
And Ohio Township, 1,250 of those calls. Oh, I see, you got the math there, 41%. So of the 10 townships that had calls, are you saying 41% of them were in Ohio?
41% of all emergency calls in Warrick County occurred in Ohio Township. Ohio Township responded to, which is 1,250 calls, and that's as of August 4th.
And that counts town of Chandler and the town of Newburgh? Or are you
No, they have
excluding
their own
those?
run numbers too, in the town. Runs that we responded to. Chandler is obviously contracted to some of the township that we don't make. But if we make it, then it's part of our run number. But all the town
You
runs
have an
are,
interlocal agreement with Chandler at the present time?
we do have a contract with Chandler, yes, to provide coverage for the township area.
And same as Newburgh, or did that change?
That changed. That recently changed. So we still have mutual aid and auto aid agreements with every department in Warrick County. And we still work really closely with Newburgh to provide coverage for Ohio Township residents and vice versa. We help them provide coverage to Newburgh Town residents.
Okay, so the town of Newburgh, you no longer have a contract with them.
That's correct.
You still protect it.
We still protect Ohio Township residents. The town residents are protected by the town of Newburgh Fire Department. But through mutual aid and auto aid, we're obviously, we assist each other. If there's a fire in the town of Newburgh, Ohio Township's going to be there. Just as if there's a fire in Ohio Township, Newburgh Fire Department will be there to assist us as well.
So that's interesting to me because I live right outside the city limits of the town limits of Newburgh.
Correct.
So if we were to call, would Ohio Township respond or Newburgh or both? Or
If you live in the township, Ohio Township would respond, would be the only department to respond, yes.
because recently I saw a Newburgh truck in our area and I was curious, how does that work?
Right.
And then if you need their help, will you call them
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
vice versa?
So did you take the trucks back from the Newburgh Fire Department? Have you moved those
Yeah, the trucks that
out?
that Newburgh, the town of Newburgh used to help provide coverage for the township were brought back to Ohio Township, and we were able to redistribute those resources within our own township.
Are you selling some vehicles this year?
We do have some vehicles that we were trying to, get
You
rid
don't
of.
happen to have a brush truck you could sell?
We
this
do
year?
not have a brush truck. We have one brush truck, and it's not in the best of shape either, but it does
Might
serve,
be
it
better
does
than what
serve
they
us well.
have. I can remember we used to give leftovers, I'll say, to Folsomville
Mhm.
Fire Department years ago when I was trustee. So
Pigeon
we kept
Township
it
has
within-
one of our trucks.
we kept it kind of in the county.
Yeah, Pigeon Township just got one of our trucks last year.
We run one of the trucks that Ohio gave us as our frontline engine.
Okay, so we are keeping it within the county.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, I guess this might go along with the last question I had, which is when I saw that overlapping, you have on here 284 out of 1,250 overlapping calls. What is an overlapping call?
So an overlapping call is when we are already on an emergency call and another call comes in for a need, an emergency need. That's a very high percentage for our industry. And I'll be just quite honest with you. I mean, that second call, we just hope we get lucky. We hope that we have a battalion chief available to make a call. Maybe the volunteers have come in or helped staff a truck. But it really is, as a fire chief, it's scary, because we don't know what's going to exactly happen. And everybody's emergency is important to us. And we want to be able to handle those emergencies, every one of them. But it's tough. And every fire department deals with overlapping calls. But as you have more resources, you have the ability to handle those calls. Maybe a truck coming from another district, but they're able to move and cover that emergency.
Okay, I see. So it's not exactly what I thought it was, but so you're on a call, another call comes in, and then that's the overlap. And
Yeah,
then-
I mean, and
So what do you do in that?
the odd thing, in most cases, like
284 times?
right now, currently what happens is during the day, staff like myself and Chief Baxter back there will run with the battalion chief and help cover calls. Again, we have volunteers, we have active volunteers that will come in, they'll upstaff apparatus for us. But again, that's a small percentage when you look at the big picture of how much time we need to cover. And we don't know when it's going to happen. And overlapping calls are usually pretty quick to happen. And it's not necessarily like one happens and then another one happens an hour later. It's dispatched, 10 minutes later, another one's dispatched, 10 minutes later, another one's dispatched. And your primary truck is already tied up on that initial emergency. And you just can't leave them. You have to handle each emergency as you're dealt.
So how many full-time firefighters are paid? at the present time?
So we
How
have,
many volunteers do you have?
we have 17 full-time people. It's on, I think, page 2 of your handout. We have 17 full-time people. There's 5 per shift, and then there's 2 administrative staff, which is myself and Chief Baxter. We have 33 volunteers that help us. I call them a force multiplier. They're able to help us upstaff vehicles. If 1 comes in or 2 comes in, we'll split the guys that are on duty and staff 2 trucks just to help with those overlapping calls. It happened the other day. We had 2 trucks staffed, and they both ended up out on the street. And actually, the battalion chief ended up out too on a call. So the good thing is we had the staff to handle every emergency. We were dealt with excellent care. But again, I say it, we were lucky that day.
That's great. What does staffing the station do for Ohio Township?
Staffing Station 2, I'll give you a good example, and it just happened. It's in everybody's, forefront of their mind, but the WEC fire. Okay, a year ago, we asked for assistance with Staffing Station 2. If that would have happened, the WEC fire would have got an engine in 2 minutes and an engine in 4 minutes to help attack that fire. What happened was we had an engine in 4 minutes, which came from the Liberty Station. The second engine was 12 minutes later, and that's with volunteer staff coming in. And that was 1 person. And the time just ticks up from there. So that's the biggest thing right there is response time. And not only for fires, it reduces property loss. But if you're trapped in a fire, we're the only ones that are going to come in and get you. We're the only ones that are going to search for you. Law enforcement can't, the EMS can't. We're the only ones that have the equipment to come inside a burning house and get you out. So response time is key for across the board.
And it has been reducing too ever since you got it full-time staff.
It has, but we still struggle. I mean, we're 6 minutes between the Liberty Station and the Paradise Station, giving traffic conditions and obeying traffic laws. That's a long time, and then past Liberty Station or past the Paradise Station, just add those numbers up and it's a long time. And as on the thing, irreversible brain damage occurs 8 minutes if you're not breathing. Getting somebody to Lake Ridge Crossing or out there off Oak Grove Road to the new Jayco subdivision quicker is going to save lives. And that only can be done by staff in that station. Any other?
Anybody else?
So I'm curious, you kind of glossed over the fact that Vanderburgh County and other areas have implemented fire districts and fire territories. And you've expressed your concern for staffing in other areas, but why have none of those options? Because the PSLIT is just a recent tax that it came out within the last 3 to 4 years. So why have neither of those 2 opportunities for funding, which would probably be a larger amount of funding than what you have received from us in the past? Why are neither of those 2 options?
They're options, and they're stuff we're actively looking at. It's just, it takes 2 municipalities to come together and make that work. And I mean, again, none of it happens quick. I'm sure Vanderburgh County can attest that. Boone Township is a territory, I believe. Linville, Skelton's a territory. So I mean, it takes a lot of time to get it implemented, and it's got to be right. And you got to get the boards together, and it is definitely something we're looking at.
Yeah, because I know one of the options, does allow, I believe it's the fire territory, I think, is the one where the council would actually control the budget or have a prominent say in that. So I was just curious why neither one of those 2 options are actually actively in place at this point.
I try to attend as much Indiana Fire Chiefs Association just put on a big seminar about this, and I attended it. I mean, it's definitely something that we're interested in, 100%.
Yeah, because overall, I mean, with our, from the research that we've done or that our council administrator has done, there only appears to be 4 other counties throughout the entire state that is using the PSLIT money to allocate towards the firefighting. So I'm just curious. It appears that there's some other funding options that other areas throughout the state are using. And it was just a question I just wanted to ask because you briefly mentioned it. And I was looking for some more information there.
If I'm not mistaken, wouldn't that cause a tremendous increase on taxes depending on your location by doing a district?
I can't speak to any of that. I don't have the knowledge for that. It just depends on what the assessed rate is.
Well, when it happened at Boone, in Boone Township, it made a big difference on people that were kind of out in the country because they got taxed significantly more. And but it's something to be studied, but there are disadvantages to it.
Yeah, the thing is, when you look at emergency services, you get one shot to get it right. So, I mean, making sure those services are in place, just like trash in schools and law enforcement. I mean, law enforcement, there's not a volunteer law enforcement group. I mean, there's volunteers with some of the law enforcement groups, but, there's really not a volunteer law enforcement group. There's not volunteer teachers, and there's nothing against volunteers, but you have to make sure you have those services set for your people to be able to, provide that. And emergency services is one of them. That's what communities look for is the emergency services that are established and the service they can provide. Plus, I mean, insurance services looks at it too. When you talk about growth, that's what they look at is ISO. ISO looks at that because that's what those properties are going to pay. Residents look at it too, but not as much as commercial growth.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, I'm gonna close the public hearing on that. And I need a motion. Do I need a motion?
Can I ask a question, Chris?
Well- Motion to close
Motion.
the public hearing.
But since we don't have a motion, yeah.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Okay. Now can I ask Crystal a question? Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
all right. I know there's been a lot of talk about this. You've been doing a lot of figuring and everything. Personally, I remember a few years ago when we did this and Ohio Township got 10% of the PS SLIP money. I hope we can get healthy enough to do that again someday. But I understand about Senate Bill 1. We're in tough times right now. Crystal, the numbers that you've been crunching and everything, and last year I think the townships, what kind of an increase do you think we can handle? Can we handle any increase? Can we handle 10%, 5, 8, 1?
Can I make a motion at this point?
No, I'm just getting ready to say, I think what you're doing is discussing. And that's
that
not,
should be
we will
after.
do.
Motion
No,
to
we're
give,
doing that. The motions will,
motion to give them 2% increase.
no, we can't close in the public hearing.
I thought
We
we
need to
closed
vote
it.
on the.
You didn't
on
vote.
that.
You didn't
Yeah.
vote on
Oh,
closing it.
We
sorry.
haven't voted on closing it yet. That's what I'm saying. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
So,
And the resolution is number 2. We still have to go through.
Here, all over.
Under new business.
So did I ask my question too soon?
yes.
So we have voted to close it. We're voting.
No, we have had motion and a second to close it. We have not voted yet. So is there any more discussion on closing? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 7-0. Okay,
Okay, so.
no, that's the next item on the agenda.
Okay,
Get your agenda out, Chris.
okay, Robert. Where's my agenda?
Okay. So we're now back to the regular council meeting, and the next will be this tabled item from last meeting
Okay.
was the
let's see.
salary ordinance and the
No
policy.
wonder, we're way off course.
Yes. Trying to keep you on the track. Okay. So,
Yes, and just so you know, this normally would just be under the consent under handbook, but since it was tabled, I put it under table. But I did finally receive the proper paperwork and everything is in order.
so the last meeting, we did not have the correct signed paperwork, so we tabled it.
Motion.
So now that we have all of that, and I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Rick,
Second.
second by Rob.
Would that be the ordinance and the appropriation?
Yes, both.
Yes.
Who made the motion?
Rick made the motion and Rob seconded.
Okay.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Okay. Now, new business. We'll start out. Next item is a resolution allocation of the PSLIT qualifying providers. So what I'm going to make a couple of statements for the public to understand is they belong to the PSLIT was, as Brad mentioned, was done a few years ago. It's public safety, local income tax. That funding and that money, which comes from our constituents or taxpayers, can only be used to fund public safety. I want to make that as a comment. It can only be used for that, even though someone has contacted me and asked me to see it can be used for other things, but it cannot. It can only be used for that. Even if it goes to a township or a town and so forth, it can only be used for public safety. Those dollars are only for that, not to be used for capital improvements, not to be used for anything else that, but it's strictly public safety. We put this in effect originally to make sure we had enough money coming in because we had to have a new jail. We're in a position right now and we're in the process of building that new jail, which everyone's understanding. We think at this point how much we will need to make that bond payment and to operate and take care of everything that we need and for that and to pay for the deputies and the staff and so forth. So that's where we're at with this. The rest of the public safety money goes to certain portions of it by statute, goes to the cities and towns of the county. So Boonville gets their portion, Chandler gets a portion, Elberfeld, Linville, and Tennyson. So I don't think I missed anybody in that.
Boonville, Chandler, Elberfeld, Linville, Newburgh, Tennyson,
Right.
and probably
And Newburgh, excuse me.
Victoria Woods.
Yeah, that was it. That was getting come
Yeah.
up. There's an unknown with this that we are dealing with also. Victoria Woods is the new town in Warrick County. And a lot of this is based on assessed value. We are nowhere near ready to even know what that number is and what that's going to change the amount of money that's obligated and who's going to get what. So we're that's unknown at this point. So now we are to the point of what we can do with how much do we think, Crystal, that we are going to possibly have? Do we know that at all?
Okay. You mean the dollar amount that is to come in?
Mm-hmm.
The dollar amount that is to come in, thanks to Chad emailing me earlier, that he found it,
Mm-hmm.
even though I've been looking for days. 15,383,639.
Okay.
So it's a slight increase over last year.
Over last year. And so now also this, we are faced with Senate Bill 1. We know that we're going to have budget cuts and we are not going to be bringing in the amount of money that we have in the past. And that's going to continue for the next 3 years. We're aware of that for sure. Now that may change a little bit with next year's legislation. Having been in the legislature for 10 years, hopefully they will look at what's happening and what they've done to us, the cities and towns and counties, and maybe change what they've thought. I kind of doubt that because next year is a short session. They really don't like to do anything on their budget because it's a 2-year budget on the short session. It's been done in the past, but it's rare. So I don't see anything changing until for 2 more years. So we're going to have to sort of live with this for the next 3 years and be very, very careful on what we do and how we handle our budget and our to continue to run the county, to take care of our employees and take care of our taxpayers and residents here. So with that slight increase, this is what we're at. So I wanted to make sure everybody's aware of where we are and if there's any more questions concerning that. Then, so.
The only other thing I want to add to that, you left out the ambulance services
Oh, yeah, I
also.
did. I'm sorry. I hope they're not here to get mad at me.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
also ambulance services also.
Right, is also a part of that. Yeah, it's in there. So we take care of that. I stand corrected. So, okay. So now I'm open for
A little bit. just
any motions,
small.
what we need to, what I want to do.
Did you answer the question?
No, can you restate the question?
Well, okay, so I know, like I said, you've been crunching numbers. I know we can't go to the 10% that we had the first year with everything that's happened. But what number would you feel comfortable with on our budget for 26? The same as last year, an increase of,
Okay, so first of all, before I truly answer that, I have a handout that hopefully each of you has in front of you. If you look, the first sheet is what you currently distributed. So based on your 2025 numbers. Okay, so that's the very first page. The second page, I worked really hard to try to get those budget numbers entered from our meeting last week to give us an idea of exactly what our budget would be for next year. So that bottom line number on the second page with the budget listing is the amount of money that we will need to fund that budget. Okay? So the third page, I did a 2% more increase over last year. And if you look at the first green column, that where I have the red arrow going over, that is still a little bit less than what our budget is, but we do have a little bit of a cash reserve. Okay. So you can see then 5%, it gets a little bit less. I don't really like to consider the next few pages, if that answers your question.
so you've got,
I got 2%, 5%, and then
2%
going
second
from there,
page.
I did the
So-
10% of the total collected. Yeah.
well, do you feel like looking at that, these 10% over last year? You said
No.
you don't feel comfortable with that?
That is dipping so much into the cash that it's not sustainable. So we wouldn't be able to sustain it, so.
What about the 5%, the one right before that? You feel comfortable with that?
I can make it work.
But we also have Victoria, which is a,
True, that
we
is true.
have no
Question
idea.
mark.
And them aren't $500 homes down there, if you're wondering. 500,000 or a million. So, that's going to take a chunk.
I just really don't know what that number is going to be, so. Because these numbers are based with Victoria getting nothing, and we know that's not going to be the case, so.
We're gonna have to fund Victoria.
With all that said, I'll make a motion for 5% more than last year for the fire territories. That's the middle one there. And of the three, just
Okay, I have a motion, Chris, for a 5% increase from the 2024
Or
allocation. Or
2025.
25 allocation, I'm sorry.
Second.
Second by Rick. Okay. Any more discussion?
Yeah. So if we're going to do 5%, then Victoria is a total ace or wild card out there. So wonder if that does take, do you not even have an estimate?
I'm sorry, but I do not.
$500?
I haven't, I do
100,000?
not.
No?
I wish we could. I think within a month or two down the road now, we're going to, but we don't have that option of waiting long enough for the state to come up with it and give us anything whatsoever. But no matter what we do, Victoria's still a wild card, as you said.
But what I'm trying to get at is, as a councilman, we're sitting here doing dollars, is 5% is going to make it tight, but Victoria can make a pretty big swing at that.
Yeah,
Then we're going to be
make it much
dipping
tighter.
into the reserves.
We're gonna be
That's what I'm concerned about. And that's,
dipping into reserves anyway.
What I'd like to tell everybody is the effect that Senate Bill 1's had on us. And in so doing, to try to keep every service going and police officers running and things like that, we've had to use some of the PSLIT that we haven't had to use in the past to make budget. we're going to lose 6.1%. And these were old figures. Crystal said something worse came in from the state. I figured this about 2 weeks ago. 6.1% of the money we have to operate on this year. Think about your own budgets. What would happen if you had to take a reduction in that, and what would you do? And then it continues 12.9% in the next year. And it keeps going up every year. There's more and more that we have to reduce over what we had the previous year. That's the effect of Senate Bill 1. And that's why we're all kind of running scared. I hope you understand that.
And I think the fact, we all appreciate the fire service. They do an excellent job. And I have a great deal of respect for the service they provide. But if next year things are worse than this year and we dip into reserve, it's just not a feasible thing. And I'd like to see them get something, but it's like with, on the other hand, we've got the jail, we're going to deal with jail. We've got all kind of things coming up that we have to prepare for. And not that I'm trying to not fund, but there are other there are other things that also need our attention on safety as far as that goes. So I can't, I think the 5% is too scary.
You know, I'll add something too, though, on this, that I think it's important to remember that we're talking about public safety, local income tax. We're not talking about the county's budget otherwise. This is money that's intended to be used for public safety. And I, for one, am going to stand with the public safety and try to get them as much as we can. We're not talking 5% of the tax. We're talking about just a 5% of the last year. Last year, do you know what the fire territory, what the fire departments got last year?
Yes.
Right there.
So you want to,
Seven-
it's on the very first page.
760,000.
That was Ohio Township.
Oh, okay. What was the total? 800?
815,166.
So we're talking about 5% is $40,000 more than last year. That's what we're talking about, is $40,000. We're not talking about 5% of the total tax.
No, you're talking about the lit tax, local income
Public
tax.
safety, local income tax, yes.
What we have had to do though, Chris, is we've had to take some of the money that's coming out of property taxes now, going to the sheriff's department, sheriff's deputies, keeping school resource officers and all of our deputies and not having to lay off anybody. We've had to go into the public safety funds and use those. That's in a public safety budget now. It's shifted out of property tax money. So that's why
I
I'm so
understand,
scared.
And I think
and-
the schools, you know, they want their public safety officers.
Of
We
course,
can't-
that's why we're using it for public safety.
Is
I just
where-
wanted to boil it down to it's 40 grand versus 20,000 at 2%, whatever that math is. We're not talking 5% of the 15
No,
million.
I understand that. I understand it's the local income tax that we're funding. But as Greg has wisely said, we have to use part of that fund for other things. And if it goes down or we have some decrease, we may have to move some money around. So that's why
But we won't be able to move it around out of PS lit, not for the county's budget.
I'm not talking about the county budget. What he said was taking it from the funding, the sheriff's department, funding other safety factors, using it there when necessary. Do you understand what
I
I'm
understand
saying?
what you're saying. You want to use it for, yes, sheriff's department and EMA and different things like that. And,
No, not EMA.
No, just sheriff's.
That's not public
Ambulance
safety.
How
EMS.
much is?
EMS, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're concerned about how close we're getting, can we reduce the raises that we're going to give the county workers? You know, going from 2.5, maybe down to 1.5%,
That's county.
Those are different budget.
but
Yeah.
it still give you a little padding in there too.
So we cut out the county employees.
Well, you They're still getting a
And the
raise.
Sheriff's Department, I don't think they'd be very happy with
We're
that.
gonna fire new firefighters.
So,
Reduce our sheriff deputies down.
Well, I think one of the main directives of county government is to provide for public safety.
Absolutely.
Everything else would take a back seat, even wages. I don't want to cut wages. Let me just state that again. I don't want to cut wages. I'm just saying, let's put first in line. And for me, that will always be public safety.
okay. Any more discussion? We have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Two. All opposed? Fars were Rick and Chris. 5 noes. Pat, Ron, Greg, Ron, Brad. Okay. Have any other motions?
Can I write my motion now?
You can do your motion now.
And kind of line with what we're trying to do with even the employees at 2.5%, different budget, I know that. But I would make a motion to give them a 2%, not give them something, but give them a little bit, give them 2% over the current budget for next year.
So 2% over 2025 numbers.
25.
Yes.
We have a second.
I just messed this up.
I'll second it. No discussion. Okay. Any more discussion on that? Okay. All in favor of 2%? Pat? You have 4. All opposed? Okay. Opposed were Brad, Chris, and Rick. Okay, motion carries. 4-3. Okay. Any other motion? No, I'll move on to the regular approval of the minutes from last week's meeting, or last month's meeting, excuse me. Any other, catch anything on else, Greg?
Nope, everything looked good.
Look good?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Rob. Second.
It's not. Okay, hold on just 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
Greg had said that was resolution number 2, Christine. When?
It would be 07.
Okay.
You made the motion.
That was
I was writing something else
Okay.
down.
So we.
number
we
7.
fixed it, right?
That was back in the public hearing, was resolution number 7. That's not on the motion. The motion was made by Rob. I need a second yet for the approval of the minutes.
I'll second it.
Second by Greg. Okay. And we didn't find anything, so all in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Commissioner business. Miss Debbie.
Crystal.
Probably.
I'll just pass them down. Just hand them to me.
It's the same thing.
No, there's a 1 and 2 on there.
I have no idea. I'm just doing what Miss Debbie tells me.
2.
I was gonna say to myself. So you're getting 3 handouts.
3 handouts.
They look very similar. I numbered them. Number 1 is what is actual through the end of July. And you'll see yellow squares, and yellow squares is where I'm asking for additional appropriation, and the
Debbie,
second sheet.
Did you
Oh,
mention
yeah.
who you are first,
Sorry,
please?
Debbie Steersman, County Administrator.
Thank you.
The second sheet has a 2 at the top, and I have plugged in the numbers for everything I'm requesting tonight, so you can see ending balances. And the third is a contract for radios. All of those we'll be discussing. So the first I'm asking is for general supplies. If you look at general supplies as it stands, we have $144.78 left for the rest of the year. And I'm asking for $7,500 for general supplies. We're going to do all these at once or talk them one at a time, or what do you want to do?
Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
And that's,
So if you look at page 1 at the
Yeah, I
very
got
end,
it.
the top,
mhm.
there's $144.78 left as of the end of July. I have submitted a couple invoices since then.
Now this is on the 100s.
The 100's first page, so flip it to the 200s. Sorry. I've given you all of
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Now I see it.
Okay.
Now, the question I'm going to ask is a past office holder who did budgets and that and come down to the end of the year, similar to what we're doing now. Have you gone through your 200 line items to see where you could, one of the things that, and I'm going back, way back,
Right.
and the way I handled it when I ran the coroner's office, if I ran short in the 200s, then I started looking at the other remaining balances and say, before I came back from
Correct.
additional appropriations, can I move money?
And that's what I have been doing, yes. So if you look at the 200s and total all of them, there's only less than $5,000 in the 200 category. About 5,000.
Okay.
Are these general supplies for the
Office supplies,
office supply?
yeah, for pretty much everybody under the commissioners.
Under the commissioners, yeah. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. So let's try and take them all at one time unless we get complicated here.
Okay,
So we
sure.
get questions. So
Sure,
I think everybody
absolutely.
understands the office supplies. So
Okay.
let's go to the other
The
services.
next
charges.
is other services and charges, and you can see I've already transferred some money into that. We are at a balance of $7,165.19, and I can tell you that I submitted $6,000 in bills there last Friday that aren't out. And I'm asking for 15,000 additional.
So you,
So with that 15,000, is that gonna last till the end of the year? I'm missing something. I'm not at the right place evidently. Other offices and service charges. What generally is that?
It is kind of a catch-all, but a lot of what's coming out there is animal control. Most of these requests are animal control that I'm talking about tonight. So other services and charges in there, some of the large ones are the RX for animal control, which is running approximately $4,000 a month and has been. These are different types of drugs that Dr. Maltby uses on the animals. It also has in there emergency surgeries for the animals. Trying to remember something. Warrick Humane, Vanderburg Humane. So mainly it's been animal control. And they're not small amounts.
why,
Animal control.
when you say Vandenberg Humane. and
Humane
Warwick
Society.
Humane, why are,
There are
We
certain
need an
services
explanation.
that they provide that our animal control cannot provide. And most of that is euthanasia. That's a lot of it. We don't, there's no kill here at the animal control.
Okay. Debbie, have you been able to figure out a budget yet for animal control, a total amount?
Yeah, I think I turned it in at the budget hearing, but a total is, with salaries, I'd say it's going to be between $650,000 and $700,000. I'm just being realistic.
I think we need to have someone look
Sharpen your
at
pencil.
managing animal control. Of course, I don't know really. I know the commissioners have it. $600,000 to $700,000.
And they're building a new building.
And we're building a new building.
Mhm.
600 to 700. Is that 700,000 included in the new building?
No,
Well, I realized my first year and but that is excessive. Something needs to be, we need to have part-time.
We do.
Open 4 days a week or and have some part-timers that fill in.
we
I don't
do.
know what the total salaries are, but
Well, the front page has salaries, the 100 series. It might be a little hard to see because they're blended in, but there are 4 full-time and right now 1 part-time looking for a second, and they have staggered
full-time,
4.
4 full-time.
Animal control officer, 2 assistants, and the outreach coordinator, and then there's 2 kennel techs. And they cover 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Well, I'll talk to the commissioners.
Yeah.
That is excessive when we have other needs, even the
Yeah.
firefighters. I mean, and I know a different category,
Correct.
but
And you're more than, I mean, I've been
$600,000 to
open to suggestions, but we've met several times and, they're getting between 80 and 100 calls from the sheriff's department a month. And that's all hours. Just on that. It's not the
but
walk-ins, it's not the telephone.
mandatory that we're open 24 hours a day.
Pardon me?
Is it mandatory that we're open 24 hours a day?
Well, the hours are just 8 to 4, but they're on call every day.
What I'm understanding from talking with them is, the sheriff's department doesn't handle animals, and they call animal control. So they have to have someone 24/7 on call. The building is not open, but they gotta be on call.
And they have people called to drop off at odd hours or pick
Well,
up.
odd hours, the people would have to wait at our normal business hours. And I love animals. I love my Sir Carson, but that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It is.
Totally recognize that.
Wow.
Any other questions on that?
I don't know what to say.
Here we are.
Okay, and then utilities is still animal control.
Well, yes. So utilities, period. If you look on further down into the courthouse where there's utilities, that balance, I didn't ask this month, is $45,679. And I just put in about $15,000 last Friday in utilities. So guess where I'll be next month. I can move, pay out of animal control a little bit until I can get it all. But that's everything. It's Boonville Natural Gas, Boonville Utilities, Center Point, trash pickup and animal control, renewable resources. I think that's it.
Okay. Janitorial supplies, that's separate from general supplies?
It's
Is it
different.
just animal control?
Janitorial, yes, just,
Just animal
and
control?
the supplies that they use out there, they are using 2 big items. It's Provet Logic, runs about $500 for 10 gallons. It's some kind of a disinfectant that's supposed to be very powerful, that was recommended to them by Dr. Maltby. So we're ordering that about every 3 weeks. And then they get cases of paper towels, which run $90 a case. And that's just on a rolling basis, what they get.
So out of the whole budget, 7,500 is for pencil and paper, ink to run the county. Now, the
Rest of it's-
manager out there at animal control, are they assisting, trying to get more where we can get into budget? Or is the budget completely out of whack and we're going to have to come up with a whole new budget because of supplies, animal control,
So have been preparing the budget based on actual, since I've been here in January,
Okay.
of what they're ordering. I don't know that they really had a budget to look at because they were in with the commissioners. So I divided out, but yes, are they over budget? They absolutely are.
so we need to talk to the commissioners about getting this
Yes.
straightened out. Okay,
I mean, I've done,
that's the
preaching.
answer. So, besides asking you and
Yeah.
having you, we need to
Right.
be talking to the three.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
David, do you know, with the commissioners, is this something they're addressing on their own? I mean,
we've had the director or the animal control officer in and two of the other employees several times. We were having trouble with staffing at first. Because we went through part-time with the high school kids like in 4 months. So we were out of part-time. So the people that they had the full-time were working so much comp time, they couldn't take their comp time. So when we brought them in, we did a budget where they could get 2 part-time people, not high school, but 2 part-time people that could do the kennels like 5 hours a day in the cat side, the dog side. So that's what they're doing, but they just lost one. And then the other 4 are covering the other 7 days. So they're staggering those days. And we got the comp time down to 40 by paying their overtime. And we told them that's it. There's not, going to be any more, and there's no more overtime either. So
but obviously then the commissioners are aware of this and things are happening.
I'm not sure if they're aware of the bill that I got today from the emergency room. I've got a question on that with the commissioners right now. The bills that I got in Friday, I have a lot of questions because I didn't know. I don't know that they know, and I certainly didn't know that was going on. And I don't know if it's supposed to. I can't answer. I don't want to be the one to be the cut the lines and say we're not doing this. So I just know what I see.
Debbie, this is the emergency room for the animals, not for someone that
For
got
the
bit?
animals,
the
yeah,
animals.
for the animals.
We're an animal.
Okay. That's what I thought you were saying. but-
Yep.
So I have another silly question. Let me put this where Crystal is. So this money that she's asking for, where is this money coming from, or who do I need to be asking this to? It'll be you? Okay.
I have a couple of suggestions. First of all, they have their fees coming in. I know this month they brought in $3,500. I don't have a total for you right now, but I know they have some fee money we could take from. I know that the interest from ARP that we put in the general fund, which we're kind of separating, there's money in there. And I know that the opioid unrestricted is general fund money. So those are my 3 suggestions without touching the right county money.
Well, the opioids, unless the dogs or cats have gotten into something, then I don't
No,
really.
the unrestricted is just like general fund money.
I get that, but the
unrestricted.
fact that it says opioid and dogs,
They might be
I
high.
struggle with that. I would rather put that money towards someone
I
who
get
might need
that.
Narcan
Right.
or education for people, but I would prefer not to do that. That's
Just
just
giving suggestions.
my.
Sure.
That aren't tax dollars. Those are not tax dollars, any of those.
Here's some other suggestions, this is just one person, but as long as we continue to allow charges like this to occur and we fund them, it's just going to continue to happen. So anyway.
You are correct.
Good point
That's a
there.
very good point. Mhm. Debbie, do you know, and I don't mean to turn this into an animal control meeting, but it has. So are there state rules and regulations that counties have to follow?
We are now state certified and we are supposed to follow the Indiana state laws. And we are. And I think that's why the cost is getting so high. Now, I have asked, and I don't want to say this out loud, do we have to have an animal
That's
control?
what
No,
I'm
we
going
don't.
with that, yeah.
There's not a law that says we have to. There are counties that do not have one.
Don't have it.
Okay, that's important to know.
Again, I'm not making those decisions. I've just checked into everything that I can check into.
This needs to be a priority to the commissioners because this money, this coming to us every month, we need to do something because I'm with Brad. I don't like giving it all the time. We need to get on budget and they need to get on this. This shouldn't be something that should drag on for 6 months. Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
So what happens, Debbie, if this doesn't get approved? These requests?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be back for general utilities. I'll just tell you that now, whether you prove it for just animal control, which we're trying to keep separated or not. I mean, with the supplies, we just won't order any more supplies for office supplies. I don't know how we'll get along without paper and everything, but
Well, yeah.
I mean, you know, we could do it. But with animal control, there has to be a decision made, or it's going to continue to grow.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I can see it every day.
I'm gonna make a motion myself to approve additional appropriation for general supplies. Take this separately of $7,500. And I'd like to have a second for that.
I'll
And we
second it.
separate this from animal control.
I'll second it.
Is there any more discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor? 2, 3, 5 ayes, 2 noes. 2 would be Brad and Rick. Now, animal control numbers.
And Debbie, off the top of my head, do they have 3 vehicles out there at animal control? I believe that's right.
I don't really know. I know they have the
there's at least
van.
2, perhaps 3, and there's that other big.
I think there's some out there that
Mobile
don't really
thing.
do anything too, that don't really run,
Okay.
that need work.
Okay. Because every time I drive past there, there seems
Yeah,
to be
there are
a
some
lot
out
of
there.
numbers that have the county's
You're correct.
logos on them.
The thing with the other services and charges, I have moved money to pay things that should come out of other services and charges, and then another bill comes in and takes that. I mean, county needs. I shouldn't say that. County commissioner needs. And then I have to move money again just to pay the bills that are coming in from animal control.
So this is specifically animal control for the 15,000?
Not the other service and charges. It's both, because I've had to move money from other places in there to pay animal control, and it's depleting it. So the other services and charges the commissioners need to pay, there's not enough money. It's kind of a mix because there's no definitive line items there.
I seem to remember at the last meeting when I was adding up what had been spent, and I came up with almost 500,000. And the 100,000 miscellaneous, they said that wasn't animal control. I'd have to go back and review that. I'm just, wow.
Oh, you mean for next year?
Yes,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
they had $100,000.
Well, I can tell you that if you take 12 times what they're spending a month, it is
That 100,000 was
on just that. Yeah.
because it was in animal control.
It was in the
list.
budget. I was basing their budget next year on actual numbers from this year at 6 months.
Wow.
Okay. Do I have a motion to do the other appropriations?
What do they total? How much do they total? You know, the remaining.
Which the other,
That's it.
1923.
23,000.
I understand what you're saying about some of it is other stuff because you've had to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just continually, and I am looking at every line item, and then believe me, at the end of the year, I'll be taking every dollar to other budget numbers to try to finish out.
And I agree with the animal control expenses are out of control. We all kind of, animals are controlled, but that's expensive. What can we do? Partial on it? I mean, you know, do like half that amount, or that's 23,000, if they do 12,500. That's more than half, of course.
Half each of them?
Pardon me?
You could have each of them.
Half each one
Half
of them.
each of
There you
them.
go. I'll make a motion to cut each one in half.
To appropriate half of each.
Yes,
Line
appropriate
item.
half of those, and
Okay.
sorry, you'll have to come back again.
I enjoy it.
I can tell.
Okay, I have a motion by Chris to do half of each line item would be under other service and charges and utilities, animal control, janitorial supplies, animal control. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. Is that 7,500, 2,000, 2,000 then?
Yes.
Second by Craig. More discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay, all opposed? Okay, motion fails 3-0, or 3-4, I'm sorry.
Oh, it failed?
Yes. Those voting for were Chris, and Ron, and Greg. Those voting against were Brad, Rick, Rod, and Pat. Excuse me. Look the other way. Okay.
Okay, on to cum cap,
Okay.
which is the third item on your sheet,
Mhm.
1138. One of them's easy, or I say it's easy. There was $287 paid out of general supplies in January, and I'm just trying to make that a zero balance, but I didn't have anywhere to take it from. I couldn't do an inline transfer, so I'm doing an outline transfer for that 287. If you want to leave it negative, but I'm taking it out of, asking it out of contract services.
Mhm.
But I'm also asking for 20 in contract services because I know, hold on a minute, I'm sorry, taking 2287 from contract services, putting 287 into that general supply line item, and then 20,000 in elevator repairs.
Okay. Have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Brad,
Second.
second by Pat. Any more discussion? All in favor? 2, 3, 4, 6. All opposed? 1. Rick? Opposition. Motion carries.
Okay, the next section is E911.
Mhm.
So if you look at the line items in E911 without putting the money in, that's where the Motorola comes from, the thing I just gave you. The second packet.
Contract. Mhm.
Contract services has $793.69 in it. The commissioners approved that the coroner's office get new radios. That's the Motorola invoice or contract you see there. Back in February, they just came in and we do not have money to pay for it. It was approved out of E911. At the time we ordered, there was money in there. And a large payment of $298,049.06 came out in February. And I'm sure the sheriff can tell you what that is. But we did not take that in consideration. So we have that contract, the radios are in, and we need 40,000.
Are we
500.
talking about Are we talking about equipment or contract services?
This is a contract.
Or we're talking about the
It wouldn't matter, neither one of them have enough money to pay it. So I just took it out of
It's not
contract.
equipment, it's contract services.
It is equipment, but it was contracted.
Okay. And you started off with 425,000 at the beginning of the year?
Yes,
So you're spending money without having the money set.
it was there at the time the contract was signed.
E911 has plenty of money in it.
Well, right now, we did do some finagling with the budget and put employees in there. But yes,
What's the other services, Debbie?
Let me look that up.
Yes, these are these.
Are we doing these line by line?
Yeah.
Each one, not all together, right?
Whether you're discussing each one line by line.
And we're discussing them line by line. And so the other services for 30,000, what's
Looks like
that?
in February, it went for Indiana Office of Technology for network. Same in, what are we asking contractor? I forgot now. Other services?
Other
Okay.
services.
That again was Office of Technology, and we moved 3,000 into it. Is what we used it for again in June.
Did you say Office of Technology?
Indiana Office of Technology. I think it is broadband. He's not listening to me. Pretty sure it's broadband from the state.
So that really, could that other services, should that really be under contractual services? It sounds like we're paying for
I
a
don't know if there's a
contract.
contract.
Sounds like there's a monthly charge. or
Yeah,
something.
I mean, it may just be a charge, but I've not found a contract.
Okay.
So if I put it in there, then the auditor's going to say I have to find the contract and all that.
Okay.
Put another service in charges.
It's more like a monthly charge for a service.
Yes.
Almost appear to require a contract.
Looks like that $23,322.12 went to, I don't know what it is. This was before I was doing AT&T Capital Services. That's all it says on the.
Capital service.
Sorry. Nothing that much.
Okay.
And the equipment is what?
I mean, there was only 3,000. Huh?
And what, the equipment, what kind of equipment? That's not the Motorola, because that's under contract services.
I put it there because it has a contract and there wasn't enough money in equipment. I put more money in equipment. I can take it out of either one. I'm asking for more money in equipment too.
So what's the equipment for then?
We could pay that bill right there,
Okay, but
but we still need contract services in E911 too.
okay, so the contractors are not,
It could be either or. I'm asking for 45 and 40. Neither line item has enough money to pay it.
okay, so this is 40,000. So under equipment, if we take it out of there, the balance of 4,000, then what do we need the 30,000 for?
You said either or, Debbie, and I
Yep.
think the question is, do you need both?
Well, there's only $793 in contract services. If we have any more contracts coming from E911, we can't pay for them. If you want to pick one or the other, I don't care, whichever can at least get that bill paid for.
You gotta pay, yeah, the Motorola, because they need radios.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that.
They'd have to
But
come
what are
and
the
ask
other then? that
Sheriff,
we
do you have
need
any other large contract
30,000?
services coming out?
I don't. Sheriff Mike Wilder, I'm not sure what she's speaking of. I don't spend the E911 funds. The commissioners are over that board. We, just as any other agency, come to them. So I'm not sure which contract you're speaking of at the moment. Because the only thing that we have came out of there is our software update. And that may be what it is.
It's like 300 some thousand.
But like, yeah, and that may be it. And it's probably more because I think it was
Yeah.
right around there. So E911 does have rules. It can't just be spent on anything. There's specific rules on how it can be
Yes.
spent. And and the commissioners are over that. So just as Vidu or the fire or EMS or someone makes a request, they can make that through the commissioners. They can release those funds. Obviously, you have to appropriate it then, and they have to meet certain criteria. As far as us, I don't think I don't have anything. If I do, I have to go request it from the commissioners before it even makes it to you. They have to prove that before I even get the appropriation from you.
But these are your radios, right?
No, those are
Those are for the
corners.
coroner,
radios.
and they were approved to pay out of E911 as
And that
communication.
was back February.
But I do believe, I just don't see the bill. I assume the big one she's talking about is ours for our
It was,
software.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Pro Suite. through Central Square.
Yeah,
Is that what
Central
it is?
Square, that's what it was.
Yeah. And that was approved by the commissioners.
How many radios are there?
10,
Well, I can't speak for the,
11?
Each of the employees at the coroner's office got one.
I'm curious as to why they would need radios, coroner's office, cell phones. I
Well,
don't
they're
know.
considered
There's no one here to ask that
emergency
question,
services
too.
just
You
as
know.
well, according to the statute. We can take them out of there because they're on call. So they could
Sorry,
hear.
Debbie, back
I
up.
said, we did double check with the state and you can use, the coroner can purchase radios out there. And I'm trying to remember why when she came, other than that sometimes they don't get to they want to hear the calls that are coming through when someone is killed or dies because they don't get it till somebody picks up the phone and tells them to come.
Okay, I see. These are regular police radios, we'll
Yes.
call it.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were.
coroner's going to respond. I don't want to speak for another elected
I don't
official.
know.
But what I do know
That
is
answers the question. I
Yeah.
thought they just had their own.
they're responding to calls of a fatality
At work or whatever.
and they're using that radio when they
So
respond
they're
to
hearing-
talk to dispatch.
That would make sense. They have to be there.
Thank you.
But Debbie, they didn't have these before. These are all,
No.
they were just using cell phones before, which were
That's
also
what
paying
that's what
for.
Alyssa said. She waited till she got a phone call to come and that they wanted to be involved in the traffic if something was happening so they could get there sooner. I understand it's the same radios that EMA and the sheriff has, the same brand.
And they don't have cell phones then.
They,
We're not paying for them. I can answer that one.
Thank you, Debbie.
Okay. And by the way, I'm meeting with AT&T Monday, so
Okay, question came up, Debbie.
Yep.
We're looking at these numbers on the copy of the contract, this here that you gave us. And,
I mean, I don't know if there'll be more, but if something does
well, but I'm
happen,
just saying, if you look at the numbers, $3,326.40 for 10 radios, 300 each. And then programming, $750 to $75 each, $750. Desktop, single unit charger, which is $688. Those numbers do not add up to $40,000, $5,065.87.
I just happen to have the invoice.
Commissioner signed.
And the invoice says $39,877.60. For the 10 radios is $21,235.50. Belt clips for 10 is $83.70. For, I'm assuming this is programming, $3,326.40. No, the programming is $750. Whatever DMS Essential is, no idea. 10 of that, $3,326.40.
Well, that's what we got, $3,326.40.
You're right.
So it's a total of $39,877.60.
Some of those figures aren't on here.
That's how it is.
I got the
Yeah.
invoice. You just have the contract. I'm
Well,
sorry.
The contract, why is an invoice different than a contract?
Well, I think it's the same as the contract.
Well, I think that
The DMS is not the radio.
the price listed for the radio here is pretty cheap.
I don't even see the radio on here.
Well, maybe it's something else besides the physical radio. It says
Those three,
term
the items on the
7
front are not
years.
the radios. It's a belt clip.
Yeah, they don't even have the belt
Yeah.
clip price on here.
Yeah, this isn't it.
It says term 7 years, so I assume that's some kind of a service agreement,
I don't know.
warranty.
I may try to help.
Okay.
We also order radios, so some of this sounds like the invoices might be messed up because on ours, there's a cellular service and it's on a 7-year agreement. So I don't know. I haven't looked at these bills. I don't know if these two bills are
This
getting
is a
there.
7-year
Yeah, here's the
agreement.
bill. I don't know what that means.
what item is
It has some
this?
cheaters.
Oh, here.
Ron, what item is this particular one? Is this the contract services or equipment or
This-
Debbie? Now I'm confused because I'm going to make a motion to table this thing. Because this seems a little bit confusing.
Well, the bill's way.
I don't know if this matters. These say these are billed to Warrick County EMA. So this might be an EMA bill.
It went, EMA ordered them.
Okay.
It's not an EMA bill. He doesn't know why it came to him because he had another bill that we had to pay. We called them and this is what for the 10 radios.
Yeah, these aren't the sheriff's office radios. I was just trying to help if it was.
Each
but
of your radios are more than $332.
Oh, definitely. Those would be.
Well,
too.
yeah, it's,
Yeah, this isn't the radio though. That's not the radio.
Now that
That's
333,
service.
2640
From
is probably.
2025 to 2032, that's 332.
She's got the radio on here. It's $2,123
For 10.
I'll second Brad's motion until we figure out what the heck we're paying. I'm with Brad.
Okay. I will see if Alyssa can come and tell you. I just have the
I have a
invoice.
motion by Brad and a second by Rob to table.
They're gonna table it.
Huh?
I might not get the motion or the approval to table it, so.
Oh.
Nothing, go ahead.
I'm making the motion to table let's just do the equipment one. That one's the closest to the 40,000, because if I'm not mistaken, Debbie, the contractual services you really don't need right now. You were just looking to put a buffer in there.
I'm not certain that I do,
Okay,
correct.
so I'm going to make a motion to table the equipment line item, which is 1222-44,000 for $45,000. So that's my first motion.
And I'll second that.
Okay.
That was
Motion
tabled,
by
right?
second to table the 45,000 equipment. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
And if you'll do me the honor, I'm going to make a motion to deny the contractual services of $30,000.
Second.
Motion by Brad, second by Pat to deny the $30,000. Any discussion?
I would like to see what it is before it's just put in there. Right now you don't have the contracts. So
Right.
you don't know.
I'm not certain that we do.
Right.
Right.
So I would like to see what they are
Yep.
before we appropriate them.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor?
That was a deny, right?
Motion to deny.
And then just, if you'll indulge me one moment,
Mhm.
in the other services, did we ever actually determine what that was? There seemed to be, I was moving off in different directions here.
So I'm going to ask the sheriff again, the bill from NUSO. NUSO that we
Oh,
get
that was
every
the
month,
one you were,
the 1,344. I just got another one. I'm trying to think what the company's name is, but it's NUSO. And it's for the sheriff's office. I get it every month and I take it out of there. I could probably go get the invoices on my
I'd have to
desk.
see the invoice.
Let me go get
I-
it on my desk.
Is that the monthly service that was discussed?
well, there was like 3 months where there was a charge for $20,000, and then it kind of tapered off to a different amount, and then we went, I don't know, it's a little gray, and I don't think it's related to necessarily my eyes.
Okay, well, there's a law here. I would like to give a shout out to Nanette Angel, sitting out there, Newburgh Town Administrator. Did I get that right? Park Treasurer.
She's elected.
Dang it.
Administrator's appointed.
Second time I've made that mistake, at least.
Okay.
But anyway, kind of you to come and listen in on, I know you're here interested in the public safety lit. And I know that you're active with the other towns and the clerks there and everything. And thanks for coming. Appreciate that.
So you may not like my answer, but I've never seen this bill. I never see these bills. These go to the commissioners because what I believe they are, Chad, help me, and Chris might correct me too. These are our phone lines, just like the recorder doesn't pay the phone bill, the commissioners pay all the phone lines. I believe that's what these are.
For
They're-
E911.
No, these are not our 911 lines. These are our administrative lines, I believe.
They have it listed, E911.
Yeah, it's paid out of E911.
Then that's the 911 lines. We never seen these. I don't get these bills because they go to the commissioners. So
yeah.
it's hard for
And
me
that
to
comes
comment.
every month.
Okay,
So that's what those are.
so that's. a
But
little-
they're phone lines that come in there.
That comes out of other services charges.
That sounds like one
Couldn't
where we
remember the
actually
name of
have
it.
some documentation for, so I'll make a motion to approve the other services for $30,000.
Second.
Okay, Brad approved.
Rob.
Rob a second.
Yeah, me or Greg, we at the same time.
Greg said to put Rob on it, so we'll put Rob on it. So. Okay. Any more discussion? All in
I
favor?
got it all.
You got one, Debbie.
That's legit.
We tabled one, right?
We
Denied
tabled
the other. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you next month.
Maybe we'll come visit you sooner. See, commissary fund. Come up here for what you're for here now, Sheriff.
Sheriff Mike Wilder, I'm here to go quickly or slowly, however you want to go over the commissary fund. State law was passed this past year. We're currently passed way. I would present this to you guys twice a year. The new law is now 4 times a year. Maybe you've noticed I send it now just monthly to you. I've talked, I believe that is sufficient, but I also will still present twice a year, but I will send that to you monthly, and I think that hits that quarterly. Instead of trying to do it quarterly and forgetting, I'm just going to send you guys what you've seen. But kind of going over the commissary, I'm doing real well in there. Haven't yet just this year, but here currently buy a vehicle or 2 out of there. So we do that every year for the most part. This is not public funds. This is money that is generated through the inmates buying goods and different things. For some of you that might be new, and I think I sent this to you last time because Pat didn't see it, but I do have a resolution with the county council. State statute has 8 things of what I can spend commissary money on. The 8th one says anything that you and your county council agrees upon, which is our resolution that gives me several other things to that I can spend that money on. So it's kind of guidelines. Why you've seen some of the statute and why we're here, kind of it's changed. We've had, unfortunately, a few sheriffs do statewide misuse their funds. So anyways, I always have been, I think for the guys that have been on the council for a long time, very transparent. My books are open anytime. That's why I'm sending it monthly. There's nothing in there that we try to hide, how we spend it, what we do with our money. So if there's any questions on any of the past or on this most recent one that I've sent, you'll probably be getting another one the next day or two. She's just waiting on August. It's a few days before the actual bank statements come, and then we'll be mailing you August or July. It would really be July, but so.
Is that why they passed the statutes?
Yeah, I mean, that's,
Because of
in the Indiana Sheriff's Association worked with them. I mean, obviously one, don't want to throw anybody, but one bad apple, makes
Yes,
everything
yeah.
change. So, and for me, it's just easier to send you guys to you monthly and try and figure out what month it is. So,
Okay. Appreciate that. Any other questions on it? Thank you, sir.
just real quick, like I said, if everybody sees something, call me, come out anytime. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to stay up here for the next one, just to make a quick clarification.
Okay. Sheriff business.
Yeah, real quick, this is an additional appropriation. Crystal kind of knows, we try to do real well when we have employees leave, that we don't come as soon as they leave for an appropriation, try to wait till the end of the year, because sometimes you don't hire somebody right away, hopefully the money. But with our custodian, we're just not going to make it. So that's why he didn't just leave. Larry Solosky was retired earlier in the year. So I just kind of clarifying, it is a payout for him, but it actually happened a while. We were going to try to ride this out and hopefully cover the funds, but we can see we're not going to be able to.
Okay.
And real quick before I leave, I will probably back up here, and I'm sure probably commissioners, because if you have got your center point bill, it went up. Obviously at the sheriff's office, our center point bill went up, and I just don't see it's going to make it utilities, unforeseen things. So I don't want to put that on your plate, but I just something to think about in the future. You're probably going to see me and maybe others that have our own separate utility bills, not probably going to be able to make it to the end of the year, probably going to be looking for appropriations.
Mine didn't go up.
Yours didn't look good. Mine didn't either yet, because I'm on that equal pay for a while, but it will.
Well, I got 96 solar panels, so
There you
they
go.
don't like me.
So anyways,
At
I
all.
just kind of put it out there. That's
Okay.
probably going to
I
happen.
used less this month and they charged me more.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Okay. 6A, additional appropriation, custodian, $11,798. Do I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion by Greg, second by Pat. Any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Okay, Parks and Business,
This is just a reimbursement
reimbursement.
from his gate fees for his fireworks.
Okay.
Motion approved.
Motion by Greg,
Second.
second by Rob. All in favor? 6. Yeah. One opposed, excuse me. Rick? One opposed. Okay. Next page. 7C, budget estimates to be read into the minutes.
Oh, boy.
So So just read the titles.
Just read the
and-
title?
And Christine has a copy of everything to put
Okay.
into the minutes. So,
2026, 2026 tax cap, 2026 library maximum budget report, 2026 miscellaneous revenue report, 2026 estimated maximum levy and mental health maximum, 2026 maximum mental health, 2026 estimated debt service payment and levies, 2026 estimated cumulative fund max levies. Reports can be found on https://www.in.gov DLGF/DLGF/county space or county specific information.
yeah, if you just go to the DLGF
Yeah, website.
website, it'll say county-specific information. You click on that.
Okay,
They're
need a
there.
motion? Do we need a motion for this?
You don't really need a motion. It's just, we just have to
Just
read them
reading it
into the minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Public comments.
I think all those were for public safety. But
And Mike
Is there
Masner,
anything-
Clark,
that was-
Shannon Van Meter. So I said, I don't think Shannon has said anything yet. Shannon Scott had. Shannon.
Hello. Shannon Van Meter from the Teamsters Local 215. I just came to you and guess what? I'm not asking for money.
Hey.
Actually, I've reached out to each of you a little bit because I'm trying to represent the sheriff's department. Right now, I represent the corrections officers and the dispatchers. And in that, we have available to them an insurance plan. And I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that we could save the county, because I know you're so generous that you pay for their insurance in full. If they would have access to our insurance plan, it would save the county an average of $138,000, $140,000 a year. If we put the deputies on that, which we could, without them being represented by our union, they would be non-bargaining. We could triple that amount to save the county that amount of money. In addition to that, the brokerage fee that you likely pay your insurance broker, you wouldn't have to pay that because we're self-administered. It's only 4%. You would have your 3 years insurance rates guaranteed. We would tell you those 3 years in advance. And also, because of the considerable difference in the deductibles and out-of-pocket expenses, you'd be saving the employees approximately $10,000 a year, just in deductible and out-of-pocket. In addition to that, we could do that within 60 days. It doesn't have to wait till 2026. So we could help your budget this year as well as next year. So I'm just bringing this to your attention in person because I've not been able to get in front of you individually. So I just came, and I can answer questions, but I know it's a late night. If you'd like to reach out to me, I think you've all probably gotten a handwritten card from me. I'm more than happy to show you. We currently cover 500,000 lives with our Team Care product. And again, I'm not an insurance salesperson. We already have a contract with these folks, so it's not a new negotiation. It's not a new bargaining unit. It's not new contracts. It's just a new benefit for the folks that are already members. Also, those that don't want it don't have to take it. They opt out. We go into it, everybody hates it, we get out. But just so everybody is aware, I just wanted to make sure I do have numbers, and I could have exact numbers if I knew exactly how many people were on which plan, which I haven't found the right person to get that from. I talked to Crystal about it. I haven't quite gotten that. But on average, it's about $140,000 a year because it's a $373 a month savings. If you had one person on single plan, one person on a single and spouse, and one person on family, because 2 of the 3 are less expensive than you pay now. And it's much better coverage, which I have available. But again, I'm not going to keep you tonight. But I want you to know that I'm here for you for that answer. And like I said, we could do it in 60 days. We could do it next year. We could do it whenever. But it's something that would, especially with this trouble that we're having with budgets, the trouble that we're having with increases, that's an extra 10 grand in their pockets that didn't come from taxpayer money.
So let me interrupt you real
Sure,
quick.
sure.
We like to bicker after contracts have been signed. Have you been to the commissioners and what have they said about this?
I have reached out to the commissioners because it would require their signature. However, it's not the contract that's going to really change. We're still working that out. We've been
Right, but I
rolling
mean,
through.
we can't really, we can't make a decision.
You
We can
cannot.
complain about, well, maybe what they've done afterwards.
Yes, sure, sure.
But before, we
Right,
usually
you
can't.
cannot.
So, yeah, so
I
that would be
understand
I
Sure,
would
sure.
be on them like
Yeah.
the proverbial certain things on
And
certain things.
and I've reached out to everyone. But I want you to know the repercussion money-wise, because that means a lot, I think. The commissioners don't have really, it's not going to make or break me because we already have a contract that
Sure.
exists. They're not going to have any, it's not going to change anything. that
Right,
we
and
have.
we're all about saving money on
Yeah.
this body, so,
Yeah.
but
That's their decision.
Oh, absolutely. But I wanted you to be aware of it. And I wanted you to know that our officers, putting themselves in the danger that they do. And I know that your lit tax, I've been here tonight and I've been listening and I know it's stretched.
Okay. We
So-
appreciate you coming. in.
Sure.
Okay.
And if I can
We'll
help,
talk
please
to them.
reach out.
We'll
And just-
also talk to them.
Just to clarify, if
Sure.
you need those numbers as far as family,
Yes.
single, you would get those from the HR department, the commissioner's
Yeah,
office.
I left that message
Okay.
a couple of times and
Okay.
I've not gotten a return call. So
I do
I'm
not
still
have those
trying.
numbers.
No, I know you don't.
Yeah.
You told me.
No, I know.
No.
Yeah, I would help you if I could. Yeah.
I know you would.
Yes.
Yeah. And like I said, I've been reaching out to commissioners as well.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
sure. Thanks all.
Any other business?
Yeah, I did real quickly. Mike, you want to come back up? Sheriff?
Oh, you're gonna get him
Yeah,
again?
this is the 911 meeting we had today,
Oh,
talking about moving the dispatch and where that's going and everything. So Mike can probably do a better job.
Yeah, this is just something will be quick. We are meeting as a 911 committee. If you saw in our budget, you guys approved it last year for this year to give us money to us to hire a director if that's which way the county decided to go with dispatch and making them under a board. There is a committee that's meeting. And right now, I think we're kind of leaning that direction, but we would want to get feedback still from you guys before this. All this committee would do is make a recommendation to the commissioners to either keep it under the sheriff or put it under a board. And there's a lot of reasons. We've had a study done why it would go under a board, how it's done in most jurisdictions. One primary reason that they're going to be out in their own facility where the sheriff's office is moving and stuff. The board's biggest thing is that the employees don't lose any of the benefits that they have and stuff going forward. But it was just going to be a quick discussion tonight, or at least leave it to you guys to know that the board is leaning, or the committee is leaning, making the recommendation to it to go under its own board of directors.
Yeah.
So cost-wise is what we're also trying to look at. Obviously, no matter if it remains under the sheriff or under a board, there's going to be a little bit of costs in two different buildings. I kind of made mention right now, my chief deputy, obviously as a sheriff Mulver, he's direct supervisor. We would no longer be in the building. So even if it remained under the sheriff, we'd want to hire an employee that would be in that building and stay with them at all times and have, the direct supervision that it would need. But we do believe that the director is the best way to go. And that's which way the board's leaning, or our committee, I keep saying that real wrong. The committee's leaning. It's small cost, but there is a little bit of cost there, but no different than if it stays. So, but that building's going to be a cost to the, I guess it's the new building that's going to be the cost utility wise. We're adding a building to the county government. So
It's another reason why I'm scared about this.
Yes.
Senate Bill Willen really did put a lot of things going on. But
That's right. Yeah.
does anybody have a quick question about that, how that committee is formed and what we're doing? I know everybody's ready to get, but it is important. Just wanted to Chris, just, we wanted to bring that to you because we need to make that recommendation sooner than later. So if that director's hired, things are getting done, you guys will know what needs to kind of be budgeted and what that picture looks like. Because obviously it's already August, and before we know it, we're going to be at the September meeting.
Right.
We'll know the cost factor, perhaps.
Yes, I mean, we're trying our best. What we will never know is like the cost of the building. Like when we move out, like how much does utilities really go down? A lot of our heating and air is zoned, but like the entire water system is still on that same, it's going to be, there's going to be things, that building's going to have to be, it's a great building, but there's going to have to be some things done to
Yeah, see who else.
better
what else
utilize
is
that
gonna be in it,
building.
What utilize it, yeah, what we can be utilizing it for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll,
Appreciate that.
to follow up on what the sheriff's saying there, I'll send you guys this summary sheet. I'd sent this back in June, I think, but it'd be it's very well written, easy to read. Review it again because this is something that has to be addressed one way or the other.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to budget for it and everything like that. Just really trying to get it back on your radar. The commissioners are gonna decide everything, but we're gonna have to figure out how to pay for it.
And
Council.
part of this could be covered under lit.
Yes, it could be.
Could be.
And I would just say this, I know there's a couple, I know
PSLF.
Chad's and I think this gives the fire departments and the municipalities a little bit of say over dispatch. I don't think if they walked up there, I think we have a very good working relationship, but I know they would want some ownership, and that's kind of gives them that a little bit too, even though there'd be a director and the board sees it, but it gives everybody at least a little bit more stakes into that. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
No, who's making a motion?
Okay, motion.
Motion by Rick.
I thought you were doing it.
No, I said, do I have a motion?
Yeah.
Second by Greg. All in favor? We are adjourned.